The director told me I had to prove myself for a promotion, so I proved myself to another company for a 25% base pay increase and double the bonus percent. So 8+ years ago, I used to work as a business analyst for a large multinational construction materials company. I was a good employee. They were a great employer. I had been given 2 promotions in my time there and been moved to several domains in the IT department. I learned a lot. A role came up to be Senior Business Analyst with a new domain, and for various reasons I was denied the promotion. Not a big deal, I understood the reasons, I really did. I wasn't bitter. A more deserving external candidate 100% got the position. I was still given the opportunity to work in that domain, great learning opportunity. A few successful projects later in the new domain, I asked if I could organically be promoted to a Senior Business Analyst. And by successful delivery, I mean my business partner going to another director in IT who had a stake in that domain. Where has he been all my life? So I had definitely done good, if not great. My manager spoke with my director and the response was, well, he needs to prove himself. I had to laugh. Don't get me wrong, my director was a great guy. He, after all, did promote me twice and gave me the opportunity to learn all these various new domains of the business. Nothing against him. The explanation just pissed me off. I would have been satisfied with, there's no budget this year, or I don't think I'll get the approval for an in-place promotion. HR was one of the domains I supported, so I know how things go. So I kept learning the new domain and started applying for various jobs outside the company. Took a few months, but one role finally clicked. My current job was $88,000 plus 15% bonus paid annually. New job was $100K plus 30% bonus paid quarterly. The director wanted me to prove myself. I just proved my worth to another company, got a $22,000 raise on my base and doubled my bonus percentage. My manager then comes and asks me, so was there anything we could have done to keep you, like make you a senior? Well, I only started looking because they said no to being promoted. Otherwise, I was and still am happy here. The money is hard to turn down though. In hindsight, I am glad they denied me the promotion. I would have never left that company otherwise and not been on my current career trajectory. Nice one, dude. Sometimes you gotta play the long game, okay? It's a strategic game to this. You know, you're worth more than what you're currently getting. Everyone knows that. As long as you work here, you have to work that weekend. First time poster, apologies for any formatting issues. Many years ago, I worked hospitality, friendly local bar, good staff, locals, and management. All in all, a pretty good gig. My girlfriend at the time was studying about 5 hours drive away and was an ex-workmate at the same bar. We'd worked together over the summer and then got together once university started. Our local sports team had a game coming up in a couple of months playing in a city. It was always a big party night in a student town, so I decided to get tickets and take the weekend off to spend time together. Duly put my leave request in, and with 6 weeks to go, this was accepted by management. Everything was looking good for a great long weekend away with her. Nearly a month later on a Thursday, 15 days out from the big event, my boss came to me and said as he had decided to attend the game, he was cancelling my leave and I would have to do closing shifts over that weekend. I argued he had accepted my leave. I already had tickets and had also booked accommodation for some sweet after-match interaction. Come on, man, we don't need to know that. So this wouldn't work. This was when he uttered the statement in the title. As long as you work here, you have to work that weekend. I instantly saw the solution, literally grabbed a napkin off the bar and wrote my resignation out under his nose and handed it to him. He refused to accept it. I informed him that it would be foolish to not have cover for me starting in 14 days, as that was my notice period and I was going regardless of whether he accepted it or not. The outcome was, I had a marvelous weekend away. He had to work that weekend as he was unable to replace me, and when I bumped into his wife a week after returning home, she told me he had been slammed on game night, and they still hadn't replaced me, and eventually asked could I come back. We agreed to a meeting time and had a good chat about things, and I got offered my old job back with another $1.50 per hour thrown in. I ended up working for him for another 4 years with no drama after that. You know, lucky it didn't end too badly, but that was pretty funny, not gonna lie. Lady uses sushi as revenge from her husband. Quite a few years ago, I did a sushi class in a culinary school. It was for enthusiasts, but it wasn't your average basic class. It lasted 1 week, Monday to Friday, 8 AM to 2 PM. We learned everything from rice making to filleting the fish. It was really cool. After 2 PM, we typically ate the sushi we prepared with the professor, or if you had to leave, put it in a recipient and take it with you. There was this lady, let's call her Mean Sushi. I like that, dude. I like that. Who didn't stay to eat the sushi, and she didn't take it either. It was rather odd. Come Friday, last day, during a mid-morning break, we asked her about this, and she told us that the class was her final act of malicious compliance against her soon-to-be ex-husband. She said something like this: "I hate sushi, I can't stand it, but my husband loves it. It's his favorite food. I'm a stay-at-home wife and I've cooked for both of us every single day we've been married. Husband has always been very vocal about me not cooking sushi for him, and whenever we go out, it typically is to a sushi place, and I have to have whatever is on the menu that's not sushi. Last time we went out to a sushi place with friends, and one of the friends asked me about this sushi thing, and my husband replied with, 'Oh, she's not that into it, but I'll bet she'll grow into it if she starts eating and cooking it regularly. I've told her several times about this sushi class that I wanted her to attend. I'm pretty sure that if she understands how it's made, she'll end up loving it.' And I said yes for the first time in God knows how many times he's asked me to take that sushi class. He was ecstatic, and on the way back home he told me, 'I knew that. If I insisted enough, you'd finally see my point.' What he didn't know is that I've already filed the divorce papers for several reasons. They're being delivered today, and I intend to post photos of myself making sushi and gorgeous homemade sushi dishes for weeks once I leave the house until the divorce is over." Oh my gosh, I can't think of a bigger burn. Dude got dumped because of sushi and other reasons, I assume, but wow. The cable company would not fix my issue until it costed them money to fix it. Back in 2015, my cable company had terrible support. My cable modem would constantly reset itself and the technicians wouldn't help. The last one who came to my home was a jerk of a supervisor who told me that they do not guarantee Wi-Fi connection, and if I had another technician come over, that I would be charged $50 an hour for wasting their time. I had a quad play at the time that included home security. What I did was not connect the home security unit to my Wi-Fi and instead use the Wi-Fi that was included with the security device. They did not like this because apparently it was costing them too much money as their service provider of the home security was charging them money from the hour as the home security unit was using too much data. When they complained about me not using the home security device on the Wi-Fi of my router, I told them, "Why does it matter since you do not guarantee Wi-Fi connection?" Another supervisor came and actually found the issue, and it was a bad line in my home, and repaired it, and now my router doesn't reset itself anymore. The look I gave the other supervisor when he told me that he apologizes for the other supervisor's behavior, and that while they don't guarantee the speeds, they should be guaranteeing a proper signal to your device, was a nice big grin. Sure, spend $300 to save $4. My employment involves fairly regular travel. My employer has pre-approved rates of hotels, but occasionally, due to availability, that rate may not be available. In that case, you simply get individual approval from a high-level supervisor for the increased amount. I had to travel when there were a number of events going on, so our approved rate wasn't available. I had made multiple calls to the hotel, as it's one I've stayed at frequently. They agreed to drop the rate to just $4 above our approved rate. Great! I emailed my direct supervisor and the person I needed approval on. Shocker, my employer wouldn't approve the higher rate. They informed me that I needed to obtain the approved rate and suggested I stay at a place I was nearly guaranteed to get bed bugs. Wasn't gonna happen, but they told me just to find anywhere that would accept our rate. Cue my malicious compliance. I called another hotel in a touristy area nearly 2 hours from where I needed to be. I stayed at this property frequently, and they were more than happy to meet our approved rate. The kicker, because it's in a high demand location. The approved rate was nearly double the rate of the previous hotel. Additionally, my meal allowance was also significantly higher. The most costly part to my employer is that because I now had a 2-hour drive, one way, they had to pay me 4 hours of overtime on top of the other travel costs. I ran my plans through my direct supervisor, who just laughed and gave his verbal approval. Because everything was at the approved rate, it was all approved automatically. I enjoyed my amazing dinner with a great review. Hey man, if you got the business expenses, I'd use them. It's free to you. Day out? Fine, I will. I started working at a hotel in the engineering department in the early 2000s because I had some computer experience. I naturally became the on-site tech guy. 4 years go by and I've given 2 months notice. Tired of 12-hour days doing my job, plus cobbling together outdated IT for a manager who disliked me. 2 months nearly went by with me repeatedly asking my manager who was going to be taking my place so that I can train them. With 2 days left, they asked me to train 6 individual managers on how to manage/maintain the computer systems in the department. I lived 3 blocks from the hotel, and after I left, I would stop by on occasion for a drink or just to say hi. On one of my stops, the front desk manager commented that he had not done a system backup since I left because he couldn't remember the steps. I went behind the front desk so I could show him again. A couple of days later, my old manager called. While reviewing the tapes, he'd seen me behind the desk. He informed me that under no circumstance was I be able to be in the hotel working areas, yelling, "You don't work here anymore," followed by a slamming of the phone. 1 year after I left the hotel, I received another call from my old manager. I ignored it. I'm busy doing a full renovation at my new hotel. The next day, I received additional calls from my old general manager who I actually liked. When I returned the calls, I found out the front desk manager who I'd trained was fired weeks after my last encounter. The IT system had failed, and no backups were done since the one I did. They needed help, and I declined. Gossip has it that the manager was fired, with this situation being the main cause. They had to contact corporate and spend tens of thousands of dollars and a full weekend to retrieve/rebuild the lost data.